I guess it's the elephant in the room with Liverpool is the Diogo Jota thing and how much that will impact their season. Because as much as it's difficult to talk about, the reality is those players, the manager, the club, the fans have lost a friend, have lost an icon, have lost someone they love. So I don't know that, along with their summer of transition, how much they've spent, how many people they've got rid of. I don't know, but then you see Ekatike, you see Wirtz in the Community Shield that first half, and they look ready made. They look oven baked already, don't they?
Yes,
But
although
yeah,
forgive me for cutting in. The one player you don't see there is Alexander Isak,
yeah,
and with all absolute respect to Diogo Jota's memory and his family, sometimes in football that spurs a team on.
yeah.
They've become much more bonded as a team. And maybe that's what Liverpool need in this summer of transition, as it were. But a key ingredient is clearly missing in full glare of all the media and every football fan. And he's still stuck up in Newcastle, and it looks like it may not happen. And in which case, well, he probably goes abroad, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, does he do a year in Saudi Arabia? Does he go to Galatasaray or Fenerbahce or something like that? I don't know. But like, I don't think that's their problem. After watching that game on Sunday, and I know it's only, I was reading the stats about the Community Shield, and it's not really a teller of how things are going to go in the season. But Van Dijk looked really, really slow. I think he was culpable for both of those goals. And with Konaté, like he's got a year left on his contract. He's obviously going to be there this season, but a lot of Real Madrid and bigger clubs are sniffing around him. I think it's more important actually for them to go and get Guehi from Crystal Palace. I think that's actually they've signed. They're so top heavy their signings that I don't know. I think that may actually be their blind spot. What's going on at the back and losing Trent, and I know Trent wasn't a particularly good defender. I was one of the first. I'd always kind of enjoy a lot of his errors, but there's a lot of work to be done there, I think. And the Isak thing is, that's the story of the summer, isn't it? And there's a lot of interest around that. I feel like at this point it might not happen. But I think for Liverpool, personally, I think they need to sign a centre-back before. I think that should actually be a priority over Isak, because I thought Ekatike looked brilliant on Sunday.
I don't disagree. But, yeah, I'll put a couple of buts in there. I wouldn't read too much into the Community Shield for two reasons. One is, and sometimes the big centre-backs like Van Dijk, they need a little bit longer. They need a few games under their belt to get into the season. And also, I think I can promise you that, with the exception of maybe this weekend and so on, the majority of your league season will not be played in the kind of temperatures that were played at Wembley. And when it's hot, the defensive transition is harder. Running backwards is harder. So it's an aspect of Liverpool's game which clearly was a weakness, but maybe will improve.